Thank you, Tracy. The greatest hope for this world is love. As I was waiting at the hospital, my kids were on their way. I wasn't sure what I was going to say to them. I wasn't sure how they were going to respond. When they got to the hospital, they saw their mom, my wife, in bed. They knew it was not good. I brought them into a room, and I told them she only had a couple days left to live. I had my arms around Ellie and Ben, and we were weeping uncontrollably. And then a huge pile of snot came out of my nose and fell on Ellie's foot. Then we just started cracking up, and I knew we were going to be okay. Everything was going to be okay because we had love. My name is Chip Turner. I'm a business owner, and I've been sitting on the board of ProKids for about 7 years. We all have our worries. We all have our things that keep us up at night. But the difference between us and the kids in foster care, we all have the presence and love of family so we can persevere through our struggles. Foster care kids so often don't have that. Foster care kids worry about, are they going to sleep in the same bed tomorrow night? Are they going to get abused when their mom or dad comes home? Will they have food to eat? Will they ever see their siblings again? Will their dad come home strung out on heroin? They worry, are they ever going to be loved and have a stable family? But as crazy as it sounds, we as a community can actually help find these kids love, a family, and a forever home. On June 13, 2017, I got a call that my son Ben and his buddy Paul were in a bad car accident. I was told Paul got out okay, but they weren't sure about Ben. They told me the accident was on Kugler Mill Road. I very quietly and peacefully got in my car and drove out of Marymount up Miami Road. Then I took a right on Camargo. The kids in foster care don't know what is next. So often, they have that worry every day. What is next? Please let me share some statistics with you. 99% of ProKids children have been safe from abuse and neglect. Child abuse and neglect affects over 1 million children per year. It costs our nation $220 million every day for immediate needs such as foster care, medical care, and mental health treatment, and for ongoing needs such as special education, juvenile and adult crime, and chronic health problems. 64% of young men who have been in foster care are incarcerated between ages 18 and 26. 70% of female youth who have been in foster care have had at least one pregnancy by age 21. 50% of homeless population spent time in foster care. With your help, we can continue to give these kids hope and help take their worries away and find them loving homes. So what can you do to help? As I was driving down Camargo Road, it was quiet. It was a dark, peaceful, calm night. I did not have the radio on. I was just talking to God, praying that Ben was okay. I kept going through every what-if scenario. I was worried what I was going to see when I got to the scene of the accident, how I was going to respond with whatever news I was going to get. My anxiety rose, and I continued driving, and I took a left on Loveland Madera Road. So what can you do to help? There are a million great charities out there. But let me ask you this. What charities have 86% of their workforce working for free? What charity out there has a 99% success rate? What charity is helping kids and in doing so helping the entire community become a better community? Prevention can control these healthcare costs. Because of the link between adverse childhood experiences and chronic illnesses from depression to diabetes, preventing these experiences in childhood reduces lifelong healthcare costs. Because a young child's brain reaches 90% of its growth by age 5, trauma at a young age can permanently alter it. This impacts her ability to learn. For older children, abuse and neglect decreases their cognitive functioning, leads to poor academic performance, and increases the likelihood of behavioral problems and mental illness. In addition, children who experience multiple childhood adverse experiences are more likely to miss school, putting them at risk for dropping out. Children who spend their childhood without a safe, permanent, nurturing home are more likely to harm their own children. It means that the costs we've talked about continue to multiply. How does ProKids do it? We work one-on-one with these kids. We meet with their doctors, teachers, friends, and families, and make sure these kids are placed in a home that will give them love and success. We advocate directly in court where the decisions are made for these kids. We connect all the pieces, and we get the community involved to continue the success that we have had. So why should you invest in ProKids? It's an incredible bargain. 86% of the workforce is unpaid. We have dedicated community volunteers who have the support of passionate, caring, driven staff members. This maximizes the impact by investing in ProKids. This goes beyond the here and now. It is future focused. What kinds of parents will these kids be? With our success, it creates a stronger community for tomorrow. It is foundational. Other investments mean little if the child doesn't have a safe, permanent, nurturing home. As I was driving up Loveland Madera Road, I felt a sense of peace, knowing that everything was going to be okay. It had to be, right? I just saw my son play in a baseball game 2 hours ago. I was just texting him 30 minutes ago that I loved him. It is always such a beautiful drive down that road, but that night I didn't notice the huge towering trees. I took a ride on Kugler Mill and I parked. At that moment, I realized that my daughter and I lost another family member, my son. The world stopped. My first call was to Ellie. When she got to the scene of the accident, she asked me if I could have snot come out of my nose onto her foot and tell her everything was going to be okay. I did not answer her. At that moment, I didn't know if everything was going to be okay. I just held her. But everything was going to be okay, and everything is going to be okay because we have an abundance of love in our lives. The loss I have had does not compare to so many of the kids' struggles in foster care. Let's help these kids in the foster care so they can have hope, so they can persevere through difficult times. With your help, we can do that. I invest in ProKids because the results are unquestionable. It helps the kids, their families, in the city of Cincinnati. Thank you for being a part of the success that you will see in the story that we are about to share with you. Peace.